visiting Carl Junction, the JV Lady Bulldogs, and your host tonight, Christian Lake Cougars. At this time, please rise your feet for the playing of the national anthem and remain standing for a prayer.
All right, welcome in everybody to, got a prayer.
Thank you for a warm building on a cold day, and we pray for great basketball this afternoon, for safety for our players and our officials, and great sportsmanship from our fans today. We love you, amen.
All right. So today, the tournament times got pushed up because of inclement weather, and so Cougars are kicking off here at noon. Here, so kind of a weird, during the school day, a Friday noon game. So New Heights at the end of the New Heights Invitational are playing here in the final bracket against Carl Junction JV. That we're out of booklets, and so I apologize. We're not going to have any of the names really of the JV girls from Carl Junction. So Cougars coming off a pretty hard, painful loss last night against McCallie. Wasn't able to do the broadcast. I was traveling. But as the Cougars lost to McCallie, which is a team we never want to lose to because it's inside conference and just really close. So Julie Sanchez, sophomore number 2, senior Alex Stout.
Sophomore number 4, Ella Nelson.
We got Ella Nelson.
Number 10, Jesselyn Beaver. And a 5'7" senior, number 21, Carly Doris.
Change the colors here as the Cougars are not the home team. So they're coming in on the bottom side of the bracket. So Ella Nelson, Jesselyn Beaver, and Carly Doris finish out the starting lineup. So it's our normal starting lineup for the Cougars. We've got Coach Blankenship back after he missed earlier in the week being sick. The sickness is kind of going through. And so Cougars trying not to go winless today, trying to slow that down as they try to finish out the tournament they're hosting with a win. So normal starters here for the Cougars. Nelson goes up for the tip, gets it over to Sanchez. And Cougars set up their offense. Over to Sanchez. Got to watch that moving screen. Oh, and we're going to get a carry on Sanchez. She thought about passing it over and caught herself. Cougars start off with some pressure. Carl Junction bringing it up, getting that ball down to 34, and just leaves it short. Nelson with a good rebound. Skips ahead over to Beaver. Beaver into Doris, triple teamed. Sanchez one more pass, and that kind of a rough bounce passes there, and Beaver with the long 2, and gets points on the board for the Cougars. So good shot. Good passing and finishing layups, key for the Cougars in the past several games, just how to start the game, getting some points up. 25 goes in, floats one long, and Stout comes up with the rebound. Pushes that ball up to Beaver, nice pass, and bounce pass over to Nelson. One more back to Sanchez, who's open for three. Oh, this rims out, but I love that press break by the Cougars. Good job getting that ball up the court. And good poke there by Stout to poke the ball free. And now he's bringing the ball up. Shoot goes for the shot from the L. Just a little long. 10 back to number 5. And Carl Junction. Oh man, nice hit there. And good read by Beaver. And that's how you make a layup. So 4-0. Ball got knocked loose. So good job by the Cougars there in transition. Somebody's tying their shoe. The ref doesn't see it. Oh man, nobody down there. It's 34. Goes up twice, and Nelson comes through, gets the rebound through Sanchez. And there you go, there's the pass. And Doris gets position, gets up underneath, and a great finish by Carly. So Cougars doing a great job with those layups after struggling several nights ago. Cougars pressure is doing a great job. Well, it's not even their pressure. It's just, they're just that tight defense, just poking the ball free. 25 goes in, and Julia's there for the steal. Pushed up with their left. And 25 does a good job keeping her from getting on the inside where she wanted to go for those layups. Got some 25, I don't know if she's tracking everything that's happening behind her. And Nelson drives into traffic and just floats one in, but just not there. 6-0 Cougars. 5 dribbles through, she takes a shot. It's going to be on the mark, and the first points for the Bulldogs. Push the ball up to Stout, bounce pass in. What a good find. Great pass by Stout to get Doris driving through the middle. And so really good job by the Cougars. Getting that ball up in transition and finishing. Again, I didn't catch the game last night, but the past several games before that, the Cougars just struggling to finish in transition. They're getting the ball up. The court just fine, but just getting there underneath, making those shots. And so much better job here to start the game as the Cougars take an 8-2 lead over Carl Junction JV Bulldogs. So it's going to be white ball. Again, Carl Junction playing white because they're on the top side of the bracket. Good skip past Truly there, who just checked in a minute ago. She sings it up to Doris. Doris and just tries to pass it back when she feels the pressure. So Sanchez gets a breather as Prater comes in the last time out. 10 pushes it up, and Beaver's there to steal the ball and just passes it long. Such aggressive passing when you're trying to break, when you're trying to push the ball up the court. And these girls usually do a good job, but it's not easy. Oh, that's a carry. Ball up to number 5. She skips it over, and that ball's tipped out by 25. Gets it into 5 on the entry pass. Finds 34. Back up to 14, who's going to shoot it. And high off the glass. Shot's good by number 14. Stop. Ooh. And yeah. So Carl Junction making some adjustments in timeout, trying to close that out. And Stout wanted to hit Doris as she cut through the middle, but pulled it back at the last second and traveled. Over to 14. Push up to 25, goes off her hands. Nelson secures it, but good save Stout over to Beaver. Into Doris. One more to Beaver. Skips it over to Stout, who's open for three, and she rolls it in. Good shot by Allie. 11-4 Cougars. Get a good trap there in the corner. But 10 gets through, and she travels. A good closeout. Good job closing out by Prater. So Lackey comes in, and Sanchez come back in. And Stout and Doris get a breather. Ball into Nelson. Had Lackey open on the weak side, but couldn't complete the spin move. Good job by the pressure by the girls. Ooh, nice save. One more over to Prater. Prater goes in and finishes. A good steal and transition off that really nice save by Beaver to get that ball up, and a good finish there by Prater. And we're going to get a really tacky little foul there. So first foul. Not any fouls called yet in the first quarter. That was the first one. 13-4. 5 over to 14. One more 25. She's had a tough time hanging on that ball as it's gone through her hands. Prater comes up. She's going to pick up her second foul. She reads that opportunity to come steal the ball, but so Nelson and Prater will grab a seat as Stout and Doris come back in for the Cougars. As Prater picks up a quick 2. 14 down to 34. That entry pass to 5. Guarded it, but she's able to get through the traffic and puts up 6. Stout bounce passes it a little late. Over to Sanchez, one more to Stout. Beaver up into the high post for Doris. Doris looks to drive. Back to Lackey. One more good ball movement by the Cougars. Trying to find that in. And Doris rolls it out, but Lackey goes up and draws the foul. So, man, great ball movement by the Cougars. Just to move that, pass that ball around. And Lackey doing a good job of being in the right spot there. And going back up, sending her to the free throw line. Short on the first substitution here for Carl Junction as 11 comes in for 25. I think that's the first substitution here for the Bulldogs. Or 5 tying her shoes, so they give her a little bit more time. Lackey shoots her second and rocks it in. Quaddy checks in now for Beaver, who gets a breather, so the Cougars have their 3 bigs in. Keep up with that pressure. Little travel there, not called by 10. 5 passes it over 11, goes over her head, and turnover goes the Cougars. So Stout walks the ball up. Down to Lackey, bounce pass in. The ball's loose, and it's going to go out of bounds on the Cougars. Just that pass was just a little low. So he comes through. Stout goes for the steal, doesn't come away with it. Pass over to 14. She looks to drive. 34, and good read by Sanchez, and that ball's poked out. And last touch by the Cougars. So we go to the Bulldogs. Ella Nelson checks in here for Lackey. 14-6, Cougars lead. Minute flat left in the first quarter. 5 Gets it to 10, over to 14. They're trying to get that flasher there. Up to 10, she's going to drive in. Ball's poked loose, and Nelson comes up with it. Good job getting that ball up the court to Stout, and a great finish. So this good, strong pass as Nelson gets that ball up the court, and a good finish there by Stout. Cougars looking nice this Friday afternoon. 16-6, and Nelson's going to get called for the foul. She realized the whole quarter's almost done. She didn't have a foul yet, so she didn't want to feel left out. So, Ellie goes for that steal. And ball set up here, number 5. Driven back to 14. Here comes the flash. Back up top. They're trying to get, that post. Ball's loose. 5 seconds left. And, oh, man. So a good floater. I think number 14. At the very end of the quarter, I thought maybe Doris got a piece of that as high as that shot went, but she didn't. It went up, just floated it over her head, and the Bulldogs cut the lead to 8. So a really strong showing by the Cougars. Tons of points in transition. And then that good 3 shot by Allie. But yeah, good ball movement, good passing. And then defensively, they're trying to just get that cutter, which generally the Cougars have been doing okay job covering that cutter. Then they kick it back to the high post. And if the Cougars bite too low on that high post will be open, which either resets their offense or it allows them to kick it back for that little quick shot or drive. So start the second quarter here. The Cougars have an 8-point lead. We've seen quite a bit of subbing. Usually we don't see as much subbing with the Cougars, but because of kind of the lead here, we've been able to get a good rotation going. Cougars go back with their starters. Okay, this guy ref the other game the other day. He's not patient. So he set the ball down and started doing a count before either team was really in position or ready. He did that the other night. Over to 14. 14 finds underneath to 34. Back to 14. Runs through, poked by Beaver. Secured by 14, who comes up underneath. Skips it back out to 5. She gets set for the 3. Nelson in good position. Ball skipped up to Stout, and Stout, just a little too hard. But good ball movement, again, by the Cougars. Five, over to 14. Down to 11. Good hands by Nelson. We got 2-on-1 here. And she floats it up and over. No foul called either side. She hits the ground pretty hard. But she makes the layup off the back of the glass. 18-8. 34 up to 5. She's going to take another shot. And that rebound is going to be last touched by Nelson. Carl Junction ball. Looking for that bounce pass into 14. And that should be Cougars ball, as it was last touched by the Bulldogs. So Beaver brings the ball up. Over to Sanchez, one more to Doris. Nice skip pass. Bounce pass, one more pass, and draws the foul. So good passing. That skip pass is always dangerous anytime you're trying to pass through the middle of the lane. But it was strong enough. Stout was able to secure to hit that one more to Nelson, who draws the contact on the way up. 24 here, checking in for 34. I think that foul was on number 10. So second shot here for Nelson. short on that one as well. And 14 secures the rebound. 18-8, Cougars lead. A couple Bulldogs go for that pass. 10 drives in, but it's poked out by Nelson on the drive. Five throwing the ball in. And good job by Sanchez to poke that one. Stout picks it up. Oh, nice step through. Good play. That pass should have been a little bit earlier, ideally, but Beaver does a good job of just getting control, letting the defender pass her, and getting a good shot. And then that's a kick off the feet of, for 14 as she was driving in. Bike ball, so good play by Beaver. Make it 20-8. Pass over to Stout. And more to Doris. Carl Junction guarding pretty wide there. The ball's poked out by 14. Passed up ahead to 11. And Nelson blocks it, comes up with it. Cougars pushing it up again, and tough contested shot. But I love the take by Doris, going up into the defender. Cougars again continue to do a great job getting that ball, getting it up there. So Doris goes to the free throw line to shoot 2. And good on the first. 21-8. Get set for the second. And drops that one in 2. And we got a timeout here by Coach B. So full timeout called by the Cougars. So Cougars with a 22-8 lead as they continue to do a great job getting that ball out in transition, pushing that ball up the court, and just kind of, the Cougars have been running some man or some zone, but I think they ran man, it would be with the quickness of our guards, being able to poke the ball free, being able to kind of jump passes and things like that would be even more deadly. But the zone's been super effective so far. Carl Junction, I imagine, appreciates the opportunity to get that. They're trying to figure out how to kind of break that pressure and then just get back on defense. So a good start by the Cougars after a tough week here at the New Heights Christian Classic. It's pretty presumptuous to call it a classic right out of gate, right? I mean, classic. You got to earn that, right? Or like a 20-year time period. But regardless, that's the name of it. So Carl gets the ball out of the timeout. Giving in number 14, she's going to look to drive, and she's going to draw the contact as her arm came across in Sanchez's arm. So that'll be Julia's first foul of the game. So 14 goes to the line to shoot 2. Long on the first. Couple substitutions here as 25 and 35 come in for 10 and 11. It's set for the second shot. That's long. And Nelson, just great job ripping that rebound down. I love how she just grabs it and just tears it from whomever. Carl Junction's playing so high right now in their zone. Plenty of opportunity for some backdoor cuts. Nelson, one more pass to Stout. Doris gets it back over to Stout. Bounce pass in. That's a tough bounce pass. Beaver's not able to secure it. She kicks the ball out to Nelson. Nelson drives in, creates some space for the long 3. And Nelson gets a hand on the ball, but it ends up knocking it out. Cougars stay in their press. Number 14. Ball's passed long. Sanchez was trying to get back to prevent anything else. Just missed that long pass. And that shot's off the mark. As 34 feels that one. Beaver over to Stout. Looks for the roll. One more pass to Beaver for three, and she makes it. So good three shooting by the Cougars. Tonight, as I think we're, oh yeah, good read by Beaver. Goes up, kind of floats it. Doris gets the rebound. One more pass to Stout. She gets in for the two, and just off the mark, 25 gets the rebound. Beaver almost steals it again, second time in a row. 14 over the, and tipped out. Last touch by 35. Beaver dribbles the ball down. Drives in. So with a Stout. Looks. Trying to get that offense rolling. Got that trap there in the corner. Just a little late on that pass. There you go. One more to, and it falls dead off the back of the rim and rolls in. So a good pass back. And the Cougars now have a 20-point lead. 14 pushing the ball down, and Nelson's going to get called for the foul. Nelson, always hungry for those blocks and those steals. That time didn't get pumped up in the air. She was pretty straight up, but she was moving. Looked like one hand came across, so she's going to get Lackey coming in for her. 2 shots off, so Prater and Lackey come in for Nelson and Sanchez. As Nelson picks up her second foul, so we probably won't see her again for this first half, which we have 3:08 left on the game clock. Second shot is high and off, and Carl Junction secures the rebound. And no one blocking out there. And ball's pushed up. Prater, one more pass behind Stout. And turnover there. Just under 3 minutes left in the first half. And good hands there by Beaver just to poke it free. Or to break up that pass, excuse me. Carl Junction's ball. Cougars are going to drop back into a 1-2-2 zone. 5 over to 14. 14 skip pass to 34. She's looking at high post position. She turns around and shoots it. Shots off. Doris gets the rebound. Passes it into traffic. Stout. Oh, one more pass. There it is. Oh, good defensive play by 34. Stout was ready underneath, or excuse me, Beaver was ready underneath. I like the play. I just, yeah. And 14 goes up for 2. Cougars already in transition. Oh, what a play. First of all, the Cougars, fantastic job getting that ball down the court. Fantastic job. And then just 34, again, doing a good job getting down and breaking up that shot that would have been surely 2 points for Doris. Up into Stout, over to Prater. And more to Stout, there's Beaver. Takes that baseline, bounce pass over to Lackey. Lackey's going to get fouled. As 35 goes up for the block and hits Lackey, I think, in the face. So Lackey will go to the free throw line for a chance to extend the Cougars' lead back to 20. So Pure on the first, 29-10. Minute 59 left in the first half. Lackey's second shot is off the mark. 35 comes up with the rebound. 25 now brings the ball up. And, just over the hands of Jesse. And 14 driving in. And 14 has got most of their points. That's over Lackey, one more. Over to Stout. Stout over to Prater. Back over to Door. She's going to drive in with her left through traffic. And shot gets blocked. She comes down with it, and it says last touched. Very clearly stated by the ref. 5, skip pass. Lackey does a good job reading it. That's over to Beaver. She steps through traffic, no call. Gets her own rebound, and she's going to get a chance to go to 2 on the putback. So good job by Jessie to get in there and get her own rebound and then take it back up through the traffic. And the Cougars go to the line again. Bulldogs now have 4 team fouls this quarter. So next foul will send the Cougars to the line for bonus. Good shot on the first. A couple substitutions here as Quaddy comes in and Sanchez come in for Doris and Stout. So 30-12. Second shot off the mark. 34 gets the rebound. Pushes that ball up and skips it over to 25. Goes up for the shot. Prater comes in for the rebound and tries to get to the outlet. Quaddy secures the loose ball. Passes back to Beaver. He gets it over to Prater. Beaver's going to drive in and take the short 2. Also, a good job by Sanchez, get the offensive rebound. Beaver's going to step it back. Ball over to Lackey. She goes up for the 2. It's off. Secured by Sanchez over to Lackey. She gets back into traffic. Sanchez goes in for the floater. Floating hook. Fights for her own rebound. And we're going to get a travel call. Sanchez was relentless on that play. All right, Nelson and Stout come in for Lackey and Prater. So Sanchez gets set up for the 3, just off, and that'll end the first half as the Cougars go into halftime with a 30-12 lead. So Cougars doing a great job so far this game with their transition, getting the points down, getting some points off transition, and just playing really swarming defense. Number 14 for them, for the Bulldogs, has 8 of their 12 points. So we'll take an audio break and we'll come back here for the second half. All right, we're back here for the second half action, final game for the Lady Cougar Classic for our New Heights Lady Cougars. So far, haven't won a game yet in the tournament for a couple tough losses, but are in full control so far in this game as the Cougars have an 18-point lead as we're getting ready to start the third quarter. Cougars playing really well. Defense has been pretty smothering, and offensively been able to score a lot of points off transition, and then shooting really well from range today. I think we have 3 3-pointers made so far this game. So Cougars get the ball to start the second half. And here we go with the third quarter. So Beaver dribbles through to the screen to get Sanchez open for the three. Oh, and good rebound by Stout. We're going to get a foul called before they could get to that jump. And I do agree with that call as they were coming across the side of her arm. Pass into Nelson. Nelson goes up for two. Hates using that glass unless it's from the front. And good pressure by Doris as she dribbles out of bounds. So ball in quickly and ball's loose. 10 dribbles out of the pressure. Stout touches it and breaks up that pass. Ball to number 14. She pushes in, and Nelson's going to pick up her third foul. So Nelson got possession of the ball, but was up in the air. So I don't know if they were calling that Ella was in her position or she had that down hand. So she had her strong hand up and weak hand down, so they were calling that. Or they just saw the collision and they just called a foul. The logic on there somewhere in there. So she's going to have to get subbed out because she has 3 fouls. But not if she comes up with that rebound. Beaver gets it over to Doris. Nice shot and one. So good pass into traffic. And Doris does a great job of controlling the pass and finishing. So Nelson will sit down after sitting down most of the second quarter. She's going to sit down for a good portion of the third quarter. Doris goes to the free throw line and completes the 3-point play. So good play by Doris. Cougars in man. Drives in and Doris gets a hand on the ball. 10 picks up the dribble. 14, good switch, and 14 shoots it hard off the side, and we're going to get a foul there as 22 goes up for it, and that foul's going to be on Stout. That's Allie's first foul of the game. So after not a lot of fouls called in the first quarter, both teams with 2 team fouls here, just a minute into the third. 22 long. On the first, gets set first, second, and makes the second shot, brings back to a 20-point lead. Carl Junction jumps into a full court press. Oh, tough pass. 10 drives down. She's over to 22. She shoots the 3. And Julie gets the rebound. Gets that ball up to Stout, just a little too far ahead of her. And that turnover gives the ball back to the Bulldogs. Cougars stay out of their full court press, but pushing to trap one of those sides. Ball to 10. 14, she travels, doesn't get called. Cougars harassing her. So 14, for Carl Junction's been so big to their game. And she gets that ball and drives it in. Five gets that ball to 22 underneath. This bounces out. Sanchez there with the rebound. Push up to, oh man, into Lackey, who goes up into traffic. Good job by Lackey. Despite the defense going up. 5 for a really long 3. Bounces out. Stouts gets the ball. Nobody stops it. And she goes up into traffic. Ball's out. Lackey goes up for a shot. Doors. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I was like, that foul wasn't on us. Substitution here as 34 comes in for 35. I think 35 picked up that foul. Ball into Lackey, who's just wide open. Shoots it long. And ball's up to 14. 14 pushes with her left through the lane. And Doris is going to pick up the foul. She comes through to try to block that shot from beside her. So 34 goes to the line. Doris, that's just her first foul of the game. So again, not a lot of fouls called in the first half. We're doing a little catch up here in the second. 34 off in the first. Cougars with a 20-point lead. It stays a 20-point lead. Good job to Stout. Get that pass up to Stout. She's going to roll it in. That's not an easy layup to make, especially when you have that defender on your back. So great shot by Stout. Pass over to 10. Ooh, yeah. So Beaver doing a good job defensively. 10 hung on to that ball. Thought that ball would have been picked off, and she just forces that turnover. So the Cougars take a full timeout. Coach B is trying to work on something here with them. With a lead like this, if it persists, I don't know if we're going to see. We'll start rotating here in the next few minutes. So I think Coach B is trying to put something in with the starters that he's got, kind of working on something. So Cougars, the 22-point lead. And just doing a good job. Moving the ball, pushing the ball, and defensively, just creating those turnovers. So 35-13. And in the last game for the New Heights Cougars. And the New Heights Lady Cougars Classic. Sponsored by Prater's Pharmacy. Cougars ball coming out of timeout. And Beaver's going to set it up. Passing to Doris. Goes for the pump fake, drives in, and good shot off the pump fake. Ball's over to 22. She looks to drive, and Beaver gets a hand on that pass, and we're going to get a foul here. Number 14. That's just her first foul of the night. A couple substitutions here. Lackey and Sanchez go to the bench as Quaddy and Prater come in. Prater back over to Beaver. Beaver breaking the press. Bounce pass up to Doris. And Doris's pass looked like a no-look pass was off. I think she thought that Prater was going to slide down. And turnover goes back to the Bulldogs. And Stout, oh, what a good job keeping her feet onside the interior of the line. And that shot's blocked. So shot's blocked and it bounces off of Prater's head and goes to White. 25 comes in for the Bulldogs. 22 grabs a seat. Five brings the ball up. Drives through, takes her own floater. It's off 34 there for the rebound and gets the putback 37-15. Ball's pushed up. Prater does a good job getting that ball into Doris. Doris just off on that. It's over to Stout, and that shot's a little long. Prater comes through for the rebound. It's tipped out by White, and it'll stay Cougars ball. Good offensive rebounding by the Cougars. Skips that ball up to Stout. Stout pulls back to set up the offense. Bounce pass to Doris. She's going to take the three. Long, but good. And the Cougars extend their lead to 25. Again, the Cougars doing a good job shooting at the rock tonight from range. That's over to 34. Down to 14. She floats one short. Stout gets it there. Gets the ball up. And drives through the traffic. Jump stop. Good play. Good drive just to cut the defenders and really control her momentum. Five, she's going to drive in again. And that's a good looking tough shot there. Keep it at 25. Stout down one more. Oh. And Doris just bobbles the ball a little bit, allows the defense to catch back up, and she shoots it short. 14's going to drive. We got a fast break going. Game. Stout's going to pick up a foul. It's going to be her second foul. And the Cougars' fourth team foul. So both teams with 4 team fouls. So next foul by either team will send somebody to the free throw line. Bounces on, and some substitutions here as Nelson Sanchez come in, and Hetzel comes in. Fourteen goes up for the second one and bounces around and in. So Sanchez passes that ball up, pass into Quaddy. Tries to save the ball after it's tipped. Five's going to be driving in, and we're going to get Prater called for the foul. So right now, for the Cougars, this is interesting. So right now, all 4 of the seniors are getting a breather, and this is a team of sophomores. So this is presumably the main players in the varsity team next year, as there's no juniors on New Heights' team. So this team right here, these girls have a chance to play together, playing some good varsity minutes here. As this will be, again, presumably the main players next year. Nelson's going to drive in, loses control of the ball. 14. She loses the ball. Nelson doing a good job of catching up and pokes the ball free. So we got inbounds play as the Cougars run a 2-3 inbounds. Nobody's watching the backside. 14 pulls the shot. It's off. Sanchez tips the ball. They'll stay white ball. Five throws the ball in, skips up to 34. Picked up by the Cougars. Ball's loose. Hutzel gets the steal, floats it over, and nice shot attempt by Prater. And now 5 pushes the ball up. She's going to pass into 10 in the middle of the lane, one more to 25. Oh, Nelson goes for the big block. Not there. Sanchez gets the ball up to Prater. Prater doing a good job getting control. Back over to Sanchez, who drives in. Ripped down by Sanchez over to Nelson. They want her to shoot the three. She wants to drive into the lane, all the traffic, and she's going to pick up the foul. She drives through the whole team to send her for the free throw line. So that foul is on number 34, her second foul of the game. Nelson shot well here, so Lawrence checks in, a freshman. So this would be all the JV players that play varsity. Quaddy, Prater, and Lawrence and Hetzel in the game. 14 over to 34. She's going to shoot. It's long. Lawrence gets the rebound. Bounce pass of a type. Skip over to Hetzel. And to Nelson. Nelson shoots over their team. Quaddy goes back up, and she's going to draw the foul. So good rebound by Quaddy, and you don't have to overthink that. Just go back up with it. You're either going to get the shot or you're going to get the foul when you got that many defenders down there. So Quaddy goes to the line to shoot 2. (34-19). And she's good on the first. That's 35 checks in. Quaddy to shoot her second. And good free throw shooting by Quaddy. 45-19. Cougars have a lead. A little over a minute left. 34 shoots long. Lawrence there on the rebound, but loses the ball. I think that might have been poked out by White. And Lincoln wasn't able to secure it. She dribbled out of bounds with it. Setting a high screen for double screen, excuse me. That's to 5. Nelson's hungry for more blocks and steals. So up to 14. 14's going to drive this in to traffic. Pushes it up. Gets the rebound, and we got a jump ball here. And this arrow will stay with the Bulldogs. Two, 3. Sanchez got to watch out for that screen for 34 on the outside. Ball's put into low post. 0 shoots it. And makes a shot. 45-21. That's over to Hetzel. So Quaddy. It's over to Lakin. Ball's poked and tipped. And she's driving through traffic, and she's going to get, well, I'd say no shot, but she's going to get shot because we're in bonus. So Sanchez gets to go to the line to shoot 2. The Cougars are now in bonus. So again, we have 4 seniors on our varsity team. No juniors. We have two starting sophomores, and Nelson and Sanchez. Quaddy and Prater, who get pretty consistent minutes varsity, and then a couple other, Hetzel and Lawrence, who been able to play several varsity minutes, and we're going to get a foul on Quaddy. So it is very much appropriate that we're getting a kind of an advanced look at what I would presume some of next year. So Quaddy picks up her first foul of the game and sends number 34 to the line to shoot 2. Bounces out on the first. 26-point lead for the Lady Cougars. 34, second shot, also long. And while 35 gets the rebound, she steps out of bounds, and the Cougars have the ball back with 15 seconds. So Sanchez over to Hutzel, back over to Sanchez. Lawrence. Lawrence passes it back into the defender. One gets it up, and pass is broken up as the third quarter ends. So Cougars in total control of this game, as they've been able to pull away, open up big enough lead that the bench is getting some good minutes here. Imagine, so we got the starters sitting down, so I imagine he's going to start the fourth quarter with a few more minutes for the varsity. Again, big weather event predicted to come in, which in Southwest Missouri means it's probably going to be nothing. There's always kind of anticipation of everything happening, and then somehow we only end up getting a few inches. Maybe I'm wrong this time. I'm not Doug Hetty. That's not my job. But if that weather does come, you know, the tournament organizers, which I would assume would be, you know, Coach Jordan with the other ADs, said, hey, let's move everything up so some of the teams that are traveling have a chance to play and get home safely before the inclement weather sets in. So the Cougars are going to start the fourth quarter with their starters, work on a few things, get a few minutes in, then I assume we'll see a 5 for 5. Get some clarification on the book from Carl Junction. So Nelson has 3 fouls, which has limited a little bit of her play time tonight, as she picked up her second one in the beginning of the second quarter. I think got her third beginning of the third quarter. Ball back over, one more pass, and Nelson just pushes through everybody. So good strong finish by Nelson. Drive through, and now the Cougars own a 28-point lead. Zero passes the ball over to 14. She's going to look to drive. 34 takes baseline, but it's cut off. 11 drives in. She doesn't want to take it. Ooh. Beaver is ready on that to jump that pass. Ella gets the poke and the block. And good hands by Stout to secure the loose ball. Beaver over to Sanchez. She's going to fire it. It's short. And she's going to go to the free throw line. As 11 fouls her. And so I didn't actually see, I was following the ball. I didn't see if there was contact. I guess it would have been contact after she fired it. Crashed into her, and so Sanchez still has a chance for 3. And that's a good start. Cougars one more from the running clock. So if she can make one of these, we'll start the clock. That one rims out. So Sanchez for her second shot. And that one rolls in. So here it goes to set it up. She drives in and shoots a pretty hard shot, but they're going to call the contact on Beaver. And we do have a running clock here, or at least until the next shot is made. 0 short on the first. 30-point lead for the Cougars, so we do have a running clock here. Zero gets ready for her second. And that bounces around and in. So that'll stop the clock. until the ball's in action. Beaver over to Stout. Back to Beaver, looking at high post position. Gets one more to Doris, who sets up for three, and she cashes in. Cougars shooting excellent from the field. Excellent from the field today. And we're going to get a steal there by Beaver. And she drives in and through the contact, not called. She just kind of was hand checking her. And good shot by Beaver. She leads the Cougars with 16 points. Zero goes in for the jump shot. It's off. Nelson gets the rebound. Pass it over to Beaver, and Beaver's going to walk the ball down. Cougars now have a 34-point lead. Beaver over to Sanchez. Screen coming. Pass over to Beaver. She bounce passes it through the lane into Nelson. And Ella's going to go to the free throw line to shoot two. Clock stays running at this point in the game, with it now being a 34-point lead. And Ella's shot off on the first. Substitutions here. 5, 25 and 24 come in. Ella's second shot is short. And Bulldogs come up with a rebound. 4.5 left in the game. Over to 5, who's open for three, just long. And Nelson gets the rebound, and I think under the direction of coach, slows it down. That just might be the last possession for the starters. Pass over to Sanchez. One more to Beaver, into Nelson. Skips it back over, nice skip pass. Shots to stop it. Beaver, good loose ball. Sanchez hangs on to it, floats it over to Doris. One more to Beaver. Skip it back into that pass. Yeah, good position. That shot gets blocked by 14. No, it's good position by Beaver. Skip pass over to 5. She travels. No, she didn't travel. That's clean. She just misses the shot. And yeah, like I thought, here comes the subs. But he does give the starters one more possession. Over to Sanchez in that high post to Nelson. One more to Doris. She bounce passes Sanchez, who goes for three. Oh, just rims out. Five skips that ball over to 25. She looks to go baseline. Gets their own rebound. Oh, close. 5 almost traveled, but secures it. And Nelson knocks it out of bounds. And here comes the 5-for-5 subs. So Prater, Quaddy, Lackey, Hutzel, and Lawrence come in, as the starters will be done for the night. So 5 to throw the ball in. Skips it back over to 24. 24 to 25. Pass over to 5. She cuts in and floats that shot in for 2. I think that was on number 5 had that shot. So it's a 32-point lead. Hetzel into Quaddy in the high post. She gets it to Lawrence. Over to Lackey. Tough pass into Quaddy. And substitutions here. As number 12 comes in. And Walker comes in. Pass over to Prater, looking for the screens. Over to Lawrence. Over to Hutzel. She takes the shot short. Once gets the rebound, one more to Prater. She's going to drive through, and 5 picks up the foul. Minute 30 left in the game. 13 foul. Prater looks for Lackey, gets it up to Quaddy. Quaddy drives in, kicks it back to Prater. And not quite sure who that, I think that was the Quaddy who had turned her back. Tough bounce pass over Lawrence. She loses it. One more pass to Prater. She thought about it. She's going to drive in, and good shot off the pump fake by Truly. Push over to 25. She takes the shot, and 32 point lead, 58-26. Cougars lead as we approach the end of the game. Quaddy gets it over to Lackey. One more to Quaddy. Lawrence or to Hutzel. Hutzel, it's one to Prater. She skips it over to Lawrence. To Lackey. Wanted to drive in there. And just errant pass. As the final seconds of the game wind down. And 5 drives in, shoots a little floater, rims out, and that's the game. So Cougars control the whole game. Stars doing a great job in transition, good job shooting at range, defense was smothering, and then it was a good opportunity for our bench. Got a lot of minutes here. Kind of at the end of the game, it was a little bit of the Carl Junction JV versus, you know, a good percentage of the New Heights JV. So it was kind of a more evenly matched there at the end of the game. So it's good to see those players out and what they were doing on the court at the same time. So that'll be the end of the tournament for the Cougars, as we'll have some other teams come on and finish out the tournament. But thanks for listening in to our early game today, and go Cougars.